I want to go over this trade here that was profiting 125 even on a 125 even. I believe what 6, 8, 9 ticks off that one. So 9 ticks on this one. As you can see, the MAE was 1. So when I entered the trade, it only won against me 1 tick. The MFE is 12. Before I decided to exit the trade, I sat in it for 11 minutes and 47 seconds. It was a long 8:48, so not too long after the open. Had some pretty good volatility. This trade I felt very confident in. This will be the start of my playbook for this particular setup. So let's go ahead and analyze what went right in it, and then see if I can't create some sort of checklist around it as far as what the volatility may have been. So let me go ahead and cut that. So this is some context of what has happened here. So you can see we were bouncing off this zone right here with the 138, where the 138.75 was. There's some size that was keeping it down, and we kept testing into it. You can see we went past the VWAP just a little bit and hit this high node at 136 even and bounced off of that. Unfortunately, I can't see what's behind the screen right here. This screen is here so I can see how the stochastics are performing. So let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. The chart is more currently developed than it was at the point of the trade. However, that resistance was at 138.50. So this current line is 139 even, this blue line. As we can see, it lined up with these small point and control areas from these previous days. This does include the overnight session, and then it doesn't really seem to mesh with any significant level as far as I can see on yesterday. However, it is in this lower noded zone, and then it's sort of on this high volume edge going into this valley here with this profile. But then again, this current profile is up to date at this moment. I'm reviewing this the same day at 11:17, so it could have looked a little different, but we can look at the previous days and see where it lined up. Still trying to get better at my top-down approach, looking at the longer term profile structures. So let's cut back to this. The real resistance is at 139 even. You can see right here we broke through it a bit and then came back down. I did consider a fade trade here. This is sort of a prime fade for the sake that, I didn't take it. So I also want to look at this because this is a playbook setup I want to also develop. We came through by 2 ticks from where we last tested, and it got rejected. We came right off this high volume edge. The volume dropped significantly in these 2 ticks right here. So that would have been a good play. That I will have to review in another video. This particular play is set up for this breakout trade that's going to be happening. So I'll have to review this, what happened here, because that would have been several good ticks of profit if I would have faded it. And it seemed like it stopped, right here at 138, even just right above these high volume nodes. So I'm playing this. This is 1 minute before the entry. You can see the major point of control, the actual VPOC, the highest volume node of the current session, which it was originally down here before the opening, and now the point of control has been developing up here for the regular trading hours. So the 1 minute stochastic is overbought, whereas the 3 and the 5 are on their way up to the overbought levels. So now we're coming back up here. This is something I see happen. It's very hard to kind of determine what if it's going to be a fade or a breakout. The thing is, it came through, and if I was to see a fade, like a good fade, it would have kept going. But however, we have this up move. We broke through a little bit. We pulled back, and then we're coming back to test it. So the morning hour here, let me pull up my notes, because I do want to take notes on this. Trade here. So what I'll do is cut. It may be hard to read, but these documents will be submitted. So this is just titled Playbook. This is the first time I'm making a playbook, so you have to bear with me on this. So this is sort of a how can I label it? Size. So this is a solid resistance breakout trade. So I'm going to try to create a checklist here. We have a bell curve forming. And this is what I'm noticing. What I'm trying to do here is document what I'm seeing before I actually enter the trade at this point. So what I'm doing is I'm visually looking at everything and documenting what I'm seeing right now before I enter the trade. So that way I can create a checklist for future trades like this. So this trade is at 847. Let me pull that up. Give me just a second here. Open. At 848. Keep this over here. So time in 8. Whoa, what am I doing? let's see here, time in 8:48. So we have good volume. It is an open. If we look at, it's an inside day so far. So profile inside previous day. So what I'll do is, I think for my parameters, I'm going to have the time in, the profile. These are little concrete things that will be included in these setups. What I'm going to do is I'll screenshot the entry where this line is, so I can kind of know what it looked like aligning itself with the previous days. So I'll attach a screenshot as well. So I need a reminder. We'll bold it. Reminder, attach profile screenshot. So this should go faster once I have my parameters in here, like my concrete things I need to write out. Again, this is the first one. So if we're looking at this, if I look at the actual chart, that's what we'll do. Because I do want to write down what the profile looks like. So the fourth and the third day aligning with high node. Wait a second, I'm looking at the wrong, because the breakout was here. Yeah, 139 even. Yeah, so profile, I'll call it profile alignment from previous days. So four days back, fourth day from current. Size aligns with a high node. So we'll do that. I'm just trying to create something here that will be streamlined. So third day from current, size aligns with high node. Second day from current, size, let's see, small valley. Size in small cluster of lower nodes. clearly the overnight. So if we look at this, the overnight, we're on a low node. So it's on a high volume edge step into a low node. So really the size was on a high volume edge step. Current day size aligns with a HVE, which means high volume edge, and a lower node, 2 ticks above the HVE. So maybe what I'm doing is I'm writing this down so I can hopefully see these same parameters and have a checklist and identify this same setup in the future, because this was a very, very good trade. So let's cut back. So let's go ahead and time in volume. So we'll measure volume in low, medium, and high. It's high because we're right in the open. Velocity. High. The reason I say the velocity is high is we have the way this is just moving with the volume, and the movements are very taking out quite a few ticks at once. So we have a lot of velocity to our moves, and we're hitting the size with a lot of velocity. So this particular trade, today is the 10th. And I am recording this, so I'll have this. Oh, it's the 11th. So we'll go ahead and 12/11/2019, so we know when. The date's important so I can back reference it. And I'll link the video in here at some point. Control V, solid resistance breakout trade. That is a setup. And then link to video. Okay. So well, while I was writing over here, I show you what that looks like. VPOC. The VPOC is, so we'll go ahead and VPOC. VPOC. The VPOC location. Oh. VPOC location. Really, the VPOC location, I mean, it's against the HVE. So Maybe the location of the VPOC will play into these things. VPOC notes. We'll have a notes category. VPOC has moved up since the opening from 313450 to 313850, which is, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 ticks. Before the play. Okay. So that is my first note. Pardon me. So what is my next note? How many times have we tested this? We tested it on the open. So we opened with psi. We opened on this breakout zone. Size. Actually, I think, yeah. Well, I turned this on a little bit before the open. Breakout zone. Size. Held it down. Tested. It's actually a resistant zone, so I'm going to call it resistance zone. Size held it down. Tested. How many times did we test? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have the test up here where we got embedded. So we'll go ahead and make a note on that. Embedded. Because being embedded, I think, really. So embedded for several seconds. For maybe a minute, I would say. What was the chart says 7 seconds currently. So embedded. I would say about a minute. Probably less than, maybe. So we'll go ahead and stick this in. So no, actually, I'll put an asterisk. Put an asterisk up here. Because I'm not sure. So roughly. I will be attaching a screenshot. So, and I'll go through the notes and draw on the screenshot what's happening for a better visual reference. Just for a minute. And then after that embedding, we tested 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So about 8. So I have to recount that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, including the embedation. So after embedding, we tested 7 times with quick pullbacks. So no embedding. Every time we tested this, there was no embedding really, like it over here. I think that was before the market opened. Pretty sure. So okay, now where we're testing, we can see here. Let's see if the size is pulling off. So size is pulling out of the way. Okay. So size started to pull. It's hard for me to keep cutting this. Size started to pull. On the 8th test. So size started to pull on the 8th test. Let's go back. You can see the size is pulled off a little bit. What was it at? Hold on for like 1 minute. I gotta get up for a second. Okay, I'm back. Kind of rewind it here and just take a look. It's sort of, I see this shape happen all the time, where it kind of has like these high nodes and they're pretty close to each other, and it just kind of has this weird divot. I don't know how to categorize that. I gotta make notes about that in the when I screenshot it. So, and take note on screen shot. So what I'll start doing is, this is my to-do list about the rectangular high noded divot area, because it has a bit of a divot in it. So let's watch this go back a bit. I want to see where it stops. I'm going to stop right down here. This actually would probably be a bad fade because of the point of control being there like that. The way the volume profile is. I mean, it would have been a decent fade for maybe a point. Volume actually has slowed down substantially in this zone. So I'm going to have to probably change the volume from high to like low. We'll see how it reacts for the entry. So make note of that. Volume slows down. I don't know how to spell substantially. Hold on. Substantially. So substantially. On pullback before breakout in the rectangular high noted profile, the rectangular high noted divoted profile area. Okay. So so on the pullback, so now we're on that high volume edge. So we have the size size on resistance before breakout. So at 39, so 3139.25, we have 417. Ask at 3 13925. We have 416. Ask, and then 3140. Even, we have 426. Ask. We'll go ahead and add 3139.75. We have 342, so it's a little lower right there. Ask. Let's see if these levels pull off when we get to it. Yup. So it's pulling to 340. So we pull to 340. Oops. So we pull to 340. That's something I didn't recognize. Pull to 341 on the next price. Pull to 422. Really? Oh, wait a second. Oh, 30. Okay, that's when we're hitting it. I'm putting the wrong. So this is 340. This. So I'll put hit because we're hitting 3. Okay, so just so you know, we're hitting currently where the video is. We're hitting 39.25. So I'm writing what these asks are pulling to 341. 422. So no change. Oh, a lot canceled there. Did you see that? Now went to 223. No hit. So we're going to have to write in another area. This little technical area down here that I'm writing in is helping me. I don't know if this will help overall. This is new for me, so we'll go ahead and put ass size pulling half, because it just pulled basically half and we haven't hit it. So if we look at 39.50, it was at 416, and now we're down to 223. So it's getting out of the way. So what I'm categorizing that as ask size pulling half before hitting. So this is, I didn't notice this. Only 130 came in. So this is where I think I'm looking for the trade. It immediately got pulled back down. So You can see the mouse is up here. I'm looking for the trade. We've gone one tick higher than where we previously tested. The 1 minute stochastic's rolling over, but who knows? So the size is holding it at 140 even, which is pretty stout. Did it pull off when we got up there is what I would like to know. We got to keep our eye on 140 even. I need to see if this pulls off. Because we're going to clear that out quickly. Nope, it didn't pull off. It looks like it's actually getting stouter. Yeah, it's gone up a little from 426 to 463. So I took 139. It's sunk in on me. I was attempting to get a limit filled, but I had a predetermined exit, which was going to be right at the point of control. So I was willing to risk 3 to 4, because if I can't get out here, I have to get out at 138.25. I took notes on it. Good. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so I need to start taking notes on where my exits are. So what I think I'm going to do is record live sessions with the mic and then call out where my exits are, so when I review I can know, because I'm not sure where my exit was. I didn't mark it or anything. Currently I'm covering the trade. So my thinking here was this was hardcore resistance. We've gone through it, and yes, this 462 held it, but now this high volume edge is going to now be the new support, which it ends up doing. So I'm probably going to call this I'm going to call it a resistant flip trade. Play. So let's go ahead and not make that bold. We'll underline it. Play. Resistance flip. Because it becomes a support, so I need to have some sort of name for this. Entry. The entry was so I try to, yeah, see, I'm aligning the mouse with this here to figure out if this is yeah, I'm trying to align. I'm trying to get a visual on if this is becoming a resistance flip, because I knew it was becoming a resistant flip, so that I was confident in, and it worked out so good. Yeah, I was aligning it. It looked like I tried to get a limit. Yeah. Okay, so the entry attempted a limit fill at 3139.25. Blew through as I clicked mouse and marketed. And so I tried to go for a fill, but I ended up market ordering in on that. A little too slow, but it's okay because I wanted the price. Blew through as clicked mouse and marketed in. 435 entry. Size stepping in on HVE at 3138.75. Oh, 3138.70. Size stepping in on HVE at which equals 435. We have 435 bid. Supporting my entry. So we can see the 435 supporting my entry. So that's the sign of the flip. Volume actually isn't. I would say the volume's more medium, actually. It's not as high as it could be. So we need to change that. Volume, medium plus, velocity high until velocity high. Yeah, actually the velocity going into the move is high. So we'll keep that as is, because if we look at this move, it's pretty high velocity getting into there. I would actually argue to say I would say it's more of a medium plus on velocity, because I've seen more violent moves, and I want to save that high for those type of moves. Okay, so watch the entry here. So strength meter is against me. Strength meter against entry. Now, as far as stochastics go, we're going to go ahead and categorize each one. The one, let's go back to the entry. Right when I click the mouse, I want to know what the stochastics are doing. So the one is over the 70, which the 70 is the overbought level. Over the 70, it's actually at the 80. Over the 70 at 80. Attempting. It's attempting bull cross. So bull cross means the slow and fast line are attempting the cross. You can see there. Now the 3 is tagging the 70 in a perfect V. So perfect V, I'll explain that in a second. So notice that it's a V, it goes down and comes back up, but the stochastic doesn't have these weird crosses in it like you see on the 1 minute. So that's a perfect V. The 5 minute is at the 60, is at 60, so it's at the 60 line and a perfect V. So what I'm trying to do is attempt to create a checklist. I need to see the 1 minute, the 3 minute, and the 5 minute do these things for future trades. Really, I need to see this trade several times to see if these parameters mesh. Along with size polling and whatnot. So exit criteria, I need to label that. So my risk is going to be 3 to 4 ticks below entry at the VPOC. Got a lot of size coming up holding it, which is nice. Now we have 2 levels of the 4. And you can see on the heat map, this is a little bit of an issue, though 40 even. I knew that going into the trade. My concern was that this does taper drastically, so if there could be a potential reversal here because of how this profile tapers. So at this point, I'm watching. You can see I have the mouse on and break even. My emergency stop is way down here. It's always 8 ticks away, only in case the computer shuts off. My stops are always, my real stops are always going to be manual. You can see that 400 was coming in. The tape looks good. We got blocks, a lot of blocks of blue. Strength meter is still against me. The 1 minute is crossing up. Now we have 657 and 521. We have 3 layers of defense, which is good. So I'm not going to write this down because my parameters, I knew it would hold there like it just did. My parameters are for what's happening before the entry. It's basic because I'm in now. So this is what I wrote down is what I need to see before the move. Then you got a 400 up here. It's 444. Of course, you have this higher size defending the very edge of the profile. It's a beautiful taper. Resetting the strength meter, that probably should have been done before the move. Block came in, block, another block. So buyers are very aggressive at this point. Volume isn't as intense as I would think. Just kind of watching it. So this does play out for 11 minutes. I'm not going to play the whole deal. We'll go ahead and just kind of skip around. You can see how it's consolidating there. It's getting very tight. That's to be expected, but the thing is, it's a flip. The resistance has flipped, and it's holding right on my entry very well, and it's testing my entry, but I'm confident, and now you can see the strength meters in my favor. So this is sort of, in my opinion, longer-term buyers are getting in at this point. I mean, you got these beautiful blocks. I know you have a selling block down there. Good blue on the tape. Now you have this high size. It was at 412. That's defending the price above my entry. So that's good. Let's see it. It's going to get away. So it's going to break this zone. Obviously, the 4025 is sort of acting as resistance. And I'm fast forwarding so we can see what happens here for this breakout. Yep. So you had this one tick come out, and then it immediately pulled back in. After what? This is the 4th test. Okay, now you have size coming in here, so let's go ahead and see what happens right here. But the thing is, it's consolidated above the resistance, so now this is a good sign. So that's good. The 450 propped it in, and no sellers are hitting back into it. No sellers were able to hit back into it, and then size stepped in. So that's a good sign that the push is coming. It's sort of building almost this rectangular square shape area that kind of looks like the one down here, minus the divot. So this is an edge that we have to get through. So At this point, the order flow on here is important, but I'm in the money, so I want to see what's happening in the tape as well. So I'm going to take all my focus off of this area. Yes, I'm going to cover for a break even, but I'm taking my area off solely this area, and I'm going to look at here and the tape. Generally, when I make the entry, I'm focused on just in this zone, the bid-ask and the market orders. Once the price sort of goes in my favor, a few ticks, then I want to start accounting the tape. And of course, I need to look at the stochastics, so you can see the one is crossing, the one starting to look bearish, but I'm not going to really weigh that in because it could come down to the 70 and cross over and bounce back up. Because that does happen. The 70 definitely causes crossing. As you can see, the 70 acted as resistance earlier. So, I mean, the stochastic isn't my holy grail. It's sort of, I'm going to look at it and see what it kind of says to somewhat confirm. Well, I think it's 9 ticks. Should be 9 ticks. No, wait. It's 10 ticks. It's 10. I mentioned in the video it was 9. It's 10. That's what I thought. So now you have that size that's still there. That's good. This is getting stout, so this is sort of a concern. Let's see what happens when we test it. $471 is pulling a little bit. Let's see what happens once we clear out this level. It's still there. It's stout, but you have a big bid coming in, so. And then the strength meter's in my favor. The 1 minute's crossing back up. It just feels, the way the market's trading, it just feels like it's going to go. And that's how I'm feeling in this trade. And look, it's mostly blue. We got the 110 block that was banging into it. That's always good. Of course, it's going to bang into it and pull back a little bit. But as long as it doesn't drop in, that's good. So you got more blue, another block. So it banged into it, and it didn't just collapse in. It did pull back a little. That's to be expected off of size like that. But we're sitting against it, so that's a good sign. That is a very good sign that it's going to go through. Yeah. And we're attacking with quite a bit of velocity before we got to it. So it's expected to kind of sit here, even though we got through it. Now we're clearing up. That's good. You can see, let me go back. Notice the 475 and 155. That is a very large block. And I did notice this on the tape. Clearly, sellers try to fight back, but the size on the buyers was just lots of blue rolling in, quite a bit of blue rolling in. Yes, we have a bit of red, but I'm not seeing like – anything to be concerned of on the tape. So you can see I set a target here behind the 600. The reason being is it's going to be hard to get through here. I know it's coming on a little late, but it's near the overnight high. This is definitely going to be a turbulent area. So what I was planning to do was get out here and take all of this money off the table, because it may fail. And the thing is, I can get back in if we're going to go for another breakout. So I want to at least secure my profits at this point. You can see this 365 is hanging it up, but it's no big deal. So we're flagging at this zone. Yeah. So where this was, yeah, they're trying to create a new, so this is sort of a mini flip right here. Just getting through this, and then we have size coming in behind it. And since these are such low nodes, it should, once we get up here, it should push through relatively easy. Obviously, we tested by one tick. I think I'm looking for the exit here. Wait, did I exit the trade? I did exit the trade. Why did I exit? You can see the mouse is covering 141.75. And then starting to, that is a higher noded area. So there's the exit. This is a little premature. I should have stuck to the original target. Let's go back a little more and see why I should have held it longer. So we have the size on 141.50, which is definitely absorbed it. Okay. Let's go back further. So we got size coming in right there where my mouse is. 141.50. Good size there. It's getting very intense up here. Lots of volume flowing. High volume. Building a node. It is the edge of the volume profile, and it doesn't always tag the size. Just with the struggling here, yeah, there's a lot of volume and struggling here, almost like this is a absorption zone. So I'm queuing out. You can see on the stochastic the 1 is rolling or crossing, and then the 3 is crossing as well. And I was taking that into consideration that, you know what, this is probably time to exit. We're at the edge of the volume profile, which sometimes they won't get through this. You know, just because the size is here doesn't mean we're going to get to it. I just think that it was a good exit, but let's see what I could have done better. So it's not getting below this level. This high node is really magnetic. Probably should have held it a little bit longer. That's a tough one. Look at that big block of red come in. Clearly size is there, and I don't know if I would have got filled on that. where my target was right here at 42.75. There's no way in hell I would have. I wasn't 79 in this queue, so this is a turning point. This is the turning point. Look at how that dropped to 488. Now it's pumping back up. Who knows? I may have would have got queued out there. No? I don't think I would have been queued out there. We're building another node here. Notice how we're building another node. So that's acting like a magnet. It's going to be hard to get through to 4250 even if we start testing in here. A lot of volume flowing in. Oh yeah, I would have definitely got hit that. I would have got queued out. Yep, right there. That would have been it. That's all coming off right there. It may pull off an iceberg. We'll see. Yeah, 400. Yeah. So even though that size pulled back, it looked like it was iceberging. Because it's getting filled here, but they're refreshing the ask. Yeah. That's solid. Look how they let it come in and then they start pumping the size back up. So that is a solid resistance zone. I think that's it. Yep. Yeah, that's it. That was it. Could have held the move longer, so ideal exit was where 600 asterisks, because I'm not, I mean, it was give or take. Ask sitting at 31.43 even. Started to iceberg, started to pull, then iceberg. Eventually pushing market down. With absorbing pull. However, when tested, it started to iceberg with absorbing, eventually pushing the market down. let's see what that looks like on the stochastic, actually. It's tough to tell on the stochastic, really. But yeah, I did leave a bit on the table, which sucks, but that's why I'm doing this. So that's called the resistance flip. This is the first play in my playbook. And from this point forward, when I see these moves, we're going to build off of it.